real, so they asking it. Even David Blaine.
Wow. Thank you so much to stay classy for this. I couldn't think of a better group of guys to receive this award from. It is true the Marines do lead the way, but our Army comes in and cleans up. Nearly 3 years ago, I was deployed in Iraq, and I received a very disheartening email from my good friend. He lost his job. His job laid off thousands of people, including himself. When this happened, he just sent out a plea for help. He was very depressed, very suicidal. Over the next couple of months while I was deployed in Iraq, I constantly emailed him back, tell him, hang in there, things are going to get better, don't you worry. And we managed to put on a fundraiser right in Kuwait to raise about $5,000 to help him through his financial hard times. I kept thinking, there's got to be something I can do more. So I kept thinking, I could give speeches in towns and start talking about these issues. Veterans committing suicide is a huge thing. 18 veterans a day in our nation committing suicide. And I didn't want my friend to go down that lonely path. And I decided, well, if I'm going to give these speeches, maybe people will take me seriously if I literally walk from town to town, city to city. And I started drawing this map, and it kind of grew really out of control. Finally, I got sponsored by Major League Baseball, and all of a sudden I knew that I was going to walk from baseball stadium to baseball stadium. And I told Louisville Slugger, those baseball stadiums, they're really spread out. So we decided not to walk across once, but to walk across back to back. We left Louisville, Kentucky on April 17, 2010, our home. Walked all the way to Chicago, down to St. Louis, all the way here for Veterans Day, November 11th last year. Touched the Pacific Ocean, turned in a crazy way, and made our way all the way south to San Antonio, east to New Orleans, northeast all the way up through Washington, D.C., New York City, and Boston. Turned again and walked all the way to Cleveland, Ohio, and just last week, we crossed the finish line. We crossed the finish line back in our home in Louisville, Kentucky, and then we got the news that we had raised $1.3 million. Along the way, so many volunteers came to our help. Our RV that we lived in for 10 months caught on fire on New Year's Eve. So obviously we couldn't stay in it any longer. We linked up with the charity Wish Upon a Hero Foundation, where we're granting wishes to help these military families through their financial hard times, helping them with PTSD, and letting them know that there are people out there to help them through their dark times. Suicide is not a way out. For me, these volunteers that help me need to be recognized just as much as my efforts. When we came here to California, our dog, who walked almost 3,000 miles with us, caught a disease and almost died from it. A special lady who's in the audience today, her name is Allie Clymore, helped to get the surgery that saved our dog's life. Thank you, Allie. And of course, I might have walked every step of the way, but I couldn't have done it without my wife, Marika. Every single time I needed water, she was there for me. Every single time I fell, she picked me up. And every single time I went into the hospital for kidney stones and foot infections, she was by my bedside. So thank you so much. Also like to finally dedicate this award to my grandfather, Sergeant Joseph Eugene Leake. Your death was not in vain. Thank you.